Done.
Right, just stop now. Stop.
But I gotta get it.
I know.
I'd like to call the Verona Borough Workshop Council meeting for August 26th to order. Please stand for pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Councilwoman Forenza.
Present.
Councilman Floto. Here. Mayor Recupera. Here. President Sukovich. Here. Councilwoman Redzak.
Present.
Dr. Carpenter.
Present.
Councilman Jamelis. Present. Councilman Long. I'd like to report that we had an executive session at 6 p.m. tonight for personnel matters. Are there any additional emergency agenda items? There's no registered comments from the public. This time we'll take comments from the public. Please raise your virtual hand or come to the podium. Try to limit it to 3 minutes. Please. State your name and address.
Warren, 636 3rd Street. I'm here on behalf of several residents that live on South Avenue. There was some work done on South Avenue, which was great. But in the meantime, they didn't leave it as they had found it. There is like a patch of grass that goes along the sidewalk from Athletic to First. And when they were done paving it, they put gravel. I thought like, right. And then I guess some people complained, so they went and they put grass seed over the gravel. And so now it's like weeds. And you can't, I mean, like you could mow it, but it's very unsightly. So I know one time when we had utility companies come and do work, whether it was water or sewer, water or gas or electric, they need to put back the condition that they had found the road, sidewalk, or whatever. And this needs to be addressed because it's very unsightly. So on South Avenue from Athletic to First.
That was Peoples.
Yes, People's Gas did this, yeah.
What the mention at the map, Jason?
And several residents did call People's. And on one occasion, my cousin lives on the one house. And they did come out and they said, oh, yeah, if there's a problem, we'll come back. Well.
What beautiful people.
Okay, sounds great.
Is that a Matt issue or a Craig issue?
What think, Matt?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Well, Amy's coming up right now.
Good evening. I have a solution to an ongoing issue. And I'd like to share it with you. So Winston Churchill once said, "The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, but the optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty." And let's face it, we've had our fair share of difficulties. So I'm the optimist. And this was Sir Winston Churchill's response. When in 1942, he gave his victory sign to a crushed nation, but the salute was backwards. The palm was facing in. Oblivious to a double meaning, his wife Clementine, she was embarrassed and shocked because of the media attention, explained to her husband that perhaps the palm facing out with the V would be a better idea and a little more suitable to a nation trying to rebuild itself from the hood. It symbolises victory, it symbolises strength, and it symbolises unity. It's not a lot, those words that we see here. From 1943 to the present day, Sir Winston's victory sign has become a pillar of peace and strength and unity to everybody worldwide. And they're curious things, signs and symbols. As history has moved us into our brave new world, the meanings have become faded, and at worst, they've been lost in the corridors of time. But one thing that still remains with us is leadership accountability. Setting boundaries, holding ourselves and others accountable. As Clementine did to Sir Winston Churchill, at a leadership level, it shapes our culture, as he shaped the culture of Great Britain after World War II. Taking ownership of our decisions sets a standard that encourages integrity and responsibility. And integrity, well, that's just doing the right thing when nobody's watching. Accountability and responsibility are not the same. Accountability is about owning outcomes and answering for the results, whether they're good or they're bad. But responsibility, well, that's about fulfilling tasks or duties that have been given to you, assigned to you. You can be responsible for many things, but to be accountable, that's single ownership that focuses on the aftermath. When accountability is absent or inconsistent at a leadership level, it creates an erosion of trust and a stagnation and a withdrawal from basic engagements, meetings, events. People become confused, communities, whether it be town community or a population for a country. They focus on their leaders at all levels to help them to face challenges and to uphold their values, common values. If our leaders are not functioning, then neither is our community or our state or our country or in fact the world, and we have world organisations that we can see that today. Transparency, responsibility, problem-solving skills are all a part of something called the 5 elements of leadership. Now, when I was teaching in Arizona on Indian reservation, I went to a workshop in Las Vegas, and it was basically about the 5 elements of leadership. And it was applied to education, but I'm applying it to a political platform today. Number 1, we need to have a common purpose to make accountability expected and respected and reinforced. Number 2, we need clear expectations. Standards need to be well defined. You can't give a child a box of matches to play with and then scold him because he burned down the town. That's not child's fault. Number 3, communication. This is huge here. We need to encourage open dialogue. Leaders must know exactly what is expected of them, which means we must be firm. We must listen to understand. Whether we've known these people all our lives or for only 2 months, the fear of not being liked if we confront a problem only stagnates the open dialogue process and hinders growth. Number 4, collaboration. This in any arena, whether it's political, educational or corporate, is a core value of success. How effectively are our leaders supporting and developing others? Not in a self-serving, egotistical way, but in a genuinely focused, positive outcome for Verona as a whole, for our community, for our people. Number 5, consequences. Come on, there's got to be consequences. For every action there is, it's balance. Admitting mistakes is crucial. Leaders who own up to their mistakes can send a powerful message, as did Winston Churchill when he went, whoops. It's okay to fail, as long as there's commitment to learn and improve. Blame shifting, deflecting from responsibility, it only creates a toxic environment where others begin to focus more on protecting themselves and improving outcomes. They throw their hands up and they walk away. Solutions, constructive action, it builds morale. It builds morale within leadership, it builds morale within community, it builds morale within families. It helps with continual personal improvement. And that in turn ripples out into not just our community, but beyond our home boundary. And into the world.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to say, I know we're trying to stick to the rules of the agenda and 3-minute limit.
I'm almost done.
Reach.
Thank you.
I'm almost done. In conclusion, if we are to truly benefit from being held accountable, it must begin now. It must begin here, and it must begin with all of us. Not one of us is above the law. We have a chief who is dedicated to bringing our community together. Leaders' actions are like ripples in a pond of still water. They influence behaviours, attitudes, and solutions at every level, regardless of the obstacles. We must continuously reinforce our common purpose so that we can look forward to a positive future for our own lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie. Anybody else? Yep.
Good evening. I won't take up too much of your time.
Your name and address, please.
My name is Barbara Miller and my home address is 128 Main Street, King Creek, Pennsylvania. However, I am the new executive director of RCAC and I'm here to introduce myself and let you know that we are looking forward to having more people from Verona join us. We are going to be loosening up our different activities and programs that we have. And I felt that this was a good opportunity to let you all know that I am there. And if you need anything or you have people that you think would benefit by coming to our center, please send them. I'm open to that and I'm open to being able to offer all our programs to the people of Verona as well as the people of Oakmont. That's why I'm here and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hopefully the word gets out.
Okay, well, you spread the word.
We will.
Okay,
Or,
thank you.
Excuse me, how may we get in touch with you? Do you have an email or a phone number?
I have an email. It's bmiller, rcacorp.org. My phone number is 724-579-2576. And this is my 4th week, so I'm not going to tell you the phone number there because I don't know it. I know it, but I don't have it.
It's 412-828-1062.
Okay. So, yeah, and certainly people, I'm open to suggestions, I'm open to, whatever we can do to get our numbers up, not just our numbers, but, participation. What we do is so important for elderly people who, many of them live alone. Isolation is a huge problem with folks as they get older. So, I'm hoping, I was at the Washington Area Senior Citizens Center before, and we made some real great steps forward. So I'm hoping we can do that here.
2 more quick questions. What is the minimum age for participants to 60? And is there a list of typical current offerings somewhere on the website?
There is, the newsletter is on our website. And so you can, we offer exercise, we offer trips, we offer lots of different things, a lot of variety of things. I'm hoping going forward that we're going to put some emphasis on dementia. Dementia 360 is something that they have been looking at, and I think that that's a really good thing, especially for the people who are suffering from it, but also for caregivers. Caregivers have a lot to deal with. And so we're going to open up, I think, to more of that kind of thing as we go forward. But like I said, this is my 4th week.
Yeah.
So we're just they're kind of seeing what I can do and I'm trying to see what they can do. But I wanted to come here because I know that we need the outreach and so that you would all know who I am.
Appreciate you coming down. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. If there's anything we can do, you can call the office here.
Okay, see, now I will. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Anybody else?
Bill Davis, 537 Bridge Avenue, Verona. I have a question for you, Rick, is when will they be taking care of the sidewalk on Second and Center? For the, I can't say, it's a blind girl or a girl has hard time seeing. Right, I've been out there for 6 years now. And that sidewalk is still identical to the way it is. Right? When will they be taking care of that? Or what do we have to do to get that taken care of?
I believe the code people know about that. That's a sidewalk's a private property. It's a homeowner's.
Sorry to interject, but Susie did ask last meeting, and that will be incorporated into our 23 multimodal for sidewalk improvements. We requested that, but as far as an exact date, the regional staff, I don't think it's gone off the date yet. Is there anything short term that would help from your perspective?
I'm worried about the girl coming across her. Right? Her and her sister come across, her sister waits for her to come across with her. Right? And I'm up there every day. Right? For crossing the kids.
Right.
Right? And I'm worried about her falling or catching the corner, the concrete or something.
Mhm.
All right, and you've been out with me, Mrs. Carpenter's been out with me, all right, and we've been out looking around for different things, what the things are. And this is one thing that should be addressed. Okay? Second of all, what I have is, somebody can tell me right now, are they gonna paint the lines on the boulevard for the crossing of the kids?
That was, I believe Mr. Alexander or, State Rep, McAndrew's office called the state. Come out. PennDOT. And we haven't heard back from them.
I was told through people that I know, I work for PennDOT, I was talking to them and they were told that the Verona Borough is responsible for the crossing on that.
I don't know that. We'll have to get with Matt. Let's see, that's been a problem with a lot of contention at boulevards, the crosswalks on the boulevards.
Jason, you had an update on that.
Yeah, so, PennDOT is planning on redoing, I'll get in more here in the next month or so.
Okay.
And everything's gonna be ripped up again. So the markings that were supposed to be replaced whenever it was done the first time, but they will be reinstalled after the new surface goes down on Boulevard.
Yeah, but there was nothing done between Wildwood and Center. I am right at South. There was nothing done in between there. So with nothing being done there, why weren't the lines painted somewhat before the kids get ready to go? Okay.
So that,
I don't know what your question is, but.
The question is, why weren't the lines painted?
But
All right, because it's a responsibility of the borough, not the responsibility of PennDOT. All right, the PennDOT came through and they went through from Wildwood, they skipped all the way through the borough up to Center Avenue. So my corner down there where I'm at with the kids, I have no crossing lines. I have no stop bars. I got people stopping in the middle of Center Avenue or on middle of South Avenue. There's no stop bars, no nothing. All right, what do? Do I just keep letting them do it or just I'll cross the kids when I can?
no, I think you're bringing your concern and we'll follow up with it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Anybody else?
Susie Davis, 537 Ridge Avenue. It has been brought to my attention, I have heard rumor tell on Lower Ridge, the 400 block. Are you thinking about making it a one-way?
There was some talk about possibly making it one way. There's nothing been,
Okay,
no meetings, there's been no traffic studies, there's been no
okay.
nothing yet, to my knowledge.
It's a discussion item on the, agenda here tonight.
Okay, because I and the residents on Ridge and on First and a few others I have talked to, we feel that you're justifying closing, making it a one-way to accommodate one family, nothing personal, Kurt. But you're doing it because they blow the stop signs down there, and I understand that.
I don't think that's the only reason it was talked about, Susan.
Okay, but the thing is, if you do that, you're gonna inconvenience us. And not only us on Ridge Avenue, but the people on First Street, people on North. I said, and then you're also gonna inconvenience anybody that's coming through Oakmont and turns there by the cannon. They could go there instead of going to the green light at get-go because Pogo's, whatever, get-go's, I guess. They don't wanna go there because one, maybe two cars get through the red light. So there is a lot of traffic coming up there, I understand that. But to put that out there and say, well, we wanna make it a one-way, I don't see where it would be beneficial. If anything, it's just gonna cause Selden to be more of a speedway.
It was never put out by us that it was gonna be a one-way. It was put out by somebody brought it to our attention. And as Jason said, it's under discussion item tonight.
Okay, like I said, I do have signatures, if you'd like to see the signatures. Went around, I talked to people. I said, and also when you do, if you do decide to make it that a one-way street, the residents on North Avenue, your children will be affected by it because there's gonna be extra traffic on North. It's not a wide street, as you know, everybody knows North is not wide enough for two cars to pass with cars parked on both sides. You have to kind of wait and hope that you can get down or up the hill. So you're gonna displace a bunch of other people and you're gonna have North Avenue residents. And there's lots of children on that street. I cross them. I know how many children come up out of that street. I said, so you gotta stop and think, you can't just do it because. I said, I have nothing against, Kirk moved down there, he knew, he grew up there. I said, I really like Kirk, I like Danielle, and I like their kids. But you don't make it, if that's what I'm hearing is it's only because of the children down there. I says, I don't know what else it would be. I said, because nobody flies up and down Ridge. Once they get on Ridge, then they fly up Ridge, once they get halfway up the hill, and then they fly onto either First Street or onto Ridge, the dead end part, and they're surprised that it's a dead end. But we gotta look at that, you can't just do it to accommodate.
Susie, that is fully noted. Can you just let us know how many signatures you have, if it's exclusively Ridge or various parts of Verona?
As Ridge Avenue and First Street. I was gonna go get North Avenue residents. If you want, I'll give you this.
How many did you say?
I think what did I say, 30? 32?
I'll sign it for Norm. I'll sign for Norm.
30 for finding here. Got it. Noted.
I get a bunch more early.
That's a big problem.
$40.
Thank you.
I
Yeah, and
have
just to-
some others that will sign it.
just to reiterate, that is only one suggestion of many. The opposition is noted, but we welcome the public to mention other ideas for traffic calming on Ridge and in general.
And like one lady pointed out to me, she says, well, what happens if they make it a one-way? And as we all know, First Street, the 900 block of First Street, had 3 water main breaks last year. The road was completely shut down. So then how do I get on off my street? If you block First Street because of what water's pipes blew again, and then I have no way to get down the hill or up the hill, except for foot power. And that's just not feasible.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks, Susie. Anybody else?
Good evening.
Hi, Sandy.
Sandy Drabicki Bell, 619 Third Avenue. I don't have new business to bring before you because you've heard this from me before. I don't have old business because that would allude to the point that you acted on something and that didn't happen either. So I'm calling it unfinished business. Okay, and this goes back to an email that I sent you all on November 4th, 2024. I sent it to you because we weren't able to attend the meeting. And a text alert had been sent out asking about ideas and that for the upcoming budget review. So I sent this text that was never read. We are unable to attend the special budget meeting on Wednesday, November 6th. Please consider this as business brought before you. It would be advantageous to the public to produce those suggestions, to hold back on the raising of local taxes for the fiscal calendar year 2025 as made by the stamp program back in June, July 2024. If you all remember, there was a gentleman and a lady that attended the meeting and shared 1 to 2 dozen suggestions on how to hold back on raising taxes. In addition, please provide the endeavors and the results made by council and the borough manager to bring those suggestions to fruition. In almost a year here, in another 2 months or so, it's going to be November 4th. And I have heard nothing as to what's been done to save the millage from going. And I'm suspecting, because River raised their taxes, Verona's going to be raising their taxes again, because that provides the simple solution that you all find necessary to do. So I don't know. I've gone this route, Mr. Daly, with talking to my counsel about this. I was wondering if I could get a copy of that program that was done back in 2024 so that I could see what those suggestions are. And maybe council could address them for me individually. Is that possible?
They can provide us a copy of the report.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy. Anybody else?
David Allerton, 414 Forest Highlands. I'm here representing the Sylvan Canoe Club and the arts, specifically is the spring upgrade. It's our understanding, our has approved the installation of new water lines. And after that, our street is scheduled to be paved. It currently is not a paved road, it's a gravel and dirt road. And the concern is that once it does get paved, like the previous, and we talked about, it will increase the overall average speed of the vehicles coming down with some type of speed control on road similar to what's done in areas in Pittsburgh. That road now, there's a lot of dog walkers, there's a lot of children walk down that road to fish on public lawn. And also people that bike and also that carry watercraft down through the public lawn. I've been part of Sylvan Canoe Club since 1997, which was prior to public walking plan and prior to Steel City Road. When Steel City Road was put in, the stipulation was that Penn Avenue would be the primary road to service Steel City Road. And the borough did widen Penn Street at that time, made it essentially from Carter Road, you know, where the cars can pass those roads, but it is a dirt road. The borough has maintained Arch Street, either through leveling it or coming through and patching the holes. But we're very concerned about the safety. For our particular canoe club, the club is on one side of the road and our parking lot is on the opposite side of the road. So we're just concerned with overall safety. And as we talked about here earlier, it seems to me there's a correlation between the smoothness of the road and the people that tend to rush. And we get a few people, even though it's filled with potholes, that race down to either Steel City or dark, and we're concerned about the safety. So I don't know if the bid has been finalized for the
I do
paving.
not believe it's been bid yet.
Still early stages.
All right, so it's not scheduled.
The water line, I understand, is scheduled, or I think it was started today. So the water company, to answer that question, the water company's doing a new line. We have nothing, the borough has nothing to do with that. The water company, it's just a 2-inch line going down there. They've had numerous breaks and they're just putting a whole new line. I don't know how far down, they're going down past your clubs, I think. And then we got awarded a grant for the paving. What we could tell Mr. Pitch, your concerns, our engineer, and he can make sure there's some type of a traffic calming device or something there.
Because the long solution, and even when they were talking about the bike trail that would start at Steel City, it was all designed to go up Penn and not go up Arch. And if you pave Arch, you'll redirect even more traffic. If you would,
We'll pass your concerns along.
and help upgrade Penn, so that Penn becomes the primary vehicle road.
I have a couple questions. So you are saying you're concerned not just about the speeding of motor vehicles, but also an increase in bike traffic as well?
Overall traffic.
Okay, so,
Because it's a speedy road, so people come down there and it'll be even more people will come down on the street.
so you're saying to prioritize pedestrian specific?
Pedestrians first, and that's
Okay.
why we want the speed control, if there's no return on not paving. We're not asking for the road to be paved. We're quite happy the way it is because it slows down the traffic for motorized. We're quite happy with the current road.
So follow-up question, do you or do members of your club, or could you, with members of your club, provide some sort of like vision or like, what do you think about something that's not paving that might be more conducive to traffic calming? Or I've even heard people suggest that perhaps Arch could be entirely pedestrian traffic or bike traffic. That works with cars getting through people who live there, but do you have any bigger vision in terms of that?
We can provide you,
That would
because
be
we
great.
have access to Penn. It's currently, a parking lot's not open to Penn, but we could easily convert to Penn and make Arch Street. Now, at the end of Arch Street, there's Alpecin, but they can come around Steel City. So yes, that could be still the so we'll take that under advisement and provide you with the vision in your next meeting.
Great, yeah, there's no rush for the next meeting. Actually, workshop is the second meeting month. That's a good time for these discussion items. Could you provide a contact email or phone?
My name is David Allerton.
Yeah.
I'm
How you spell that
first
last name?
ALLERT. I'm a person. My cell number is 412-913-4526. And I'm representing all. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your concerns. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome, sir.
Anybody else?
Ray, I'm sorry, Bill Davis, 537 Virginia. The corner of South by the church. All right, you know as well as I do. I have a grate that's sticking up this high is still out. Alright, if someone comes down around that corner or comes around there, they're gonna catch that grace. Alright, it's been there since last year. I asked for it to get paid or patched up and it's never been done.
South at the
Stop right beside the church.
Right in front of the church.
Oh, the boulevard, I'm thinking of
The other-
On the boulevard.
It's at
On the boulevard, I got a steel grate sticking up that high. Right, you know, the catch
Is
basin
it on South?
is on South and ARB.
Is it on ARB?
It's on ARB.
Then it's a state problem. We'll have to get a hold of the state.
No, it's, all right. It's right there on the corner. It's about that high of a grate sticking up.
Jason, can you have DPW check that tomorrow, please?
Thank
We'll have DPW
Right.
check it and go from there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. I have nothing, Mayor.
Yeah, I just have a couple of real quick things, just a comment on, it was a nice job on the wrestling match, when was it, last week, you, Timmy, and probably Mike and some other kids. What's that?
All Parks and Rec.
Yeah, okay, all Parks and Rec, I rode past there on our way home, about 8:30 or so, there was a very nice crowd there. Very nice crowd, well done. The other thing I would bring up is, Alligator Boulevard. The signs on there say 2-hour parking. And I was asked about, and I know it's gonna be brought up on the, towards the end, just think about it between now and then, if we could put, like parking from 8 AM to, 3 PM. The new business going in up there, and, he's worried that, when there's customers come, they see 2-hour parking, they wanna, have a gathering or whatever. They're gonna have to move their cars in the evening. And I told him I'd bring it up to the board.
Let's see what the ordinance says. It'll be under an ordinance.
We'd have to change the ordinance probably.
I don't know how the ordinance reads,
Right.
is what I'm saying.
Well, true, but chances are it reads 2-hour parking.
Right.
And basically, it would just be to put letter, a sticker on the bottom, and even throughout the, the town, the main business district too, in the back street. Because I believe they all say 2-hour parking. And somebody who comes into town that's new, they come in at 6, 7 o'clock at night, they're gonna say, oh geez, I gotta be out of here, in 2 hours, also I'm gonna get a ticket, which we do not cite them, after 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. But it's just, thought that the board could look into.
Jason, is this related to motion G in the action items?
So it is a topic under there, and the fact that it would have to be an ordinance would need to be adjusted in the motion for us to advertise and to pursue that.
Would this be an appropriate time to discuss, or should we wait till action?
I think we can talk about it now, we're actually.
Okay, so to clarify, currently no hours are listed
Right.
that we're aware of either on the sign.
I looked at the signs today. I went and to refresh my memory from our sign audit like 30 years ago. And the signs say 2-hour parking, that's it, and they're written in green on a white background. My understanding is they're supposed to be written in red on a white background, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yeah.
I know that at some point we ordered some new signs, I don't know what signs we ordered, what they say, if there's hours on them, if they had anything to do with that. But I would think that we could very simply produce an ordinance that says whatever we wanna do, 8 to 4, whatever, 2-hour parking, and then, if someone's staying for longer than that, for longer than 2 hours, they can come at 2 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock, they're free to stay for the whole night. So essentially, because it would be like.
Well, just check the ordinance and see what that says, and
Right, but we also have to change the signs, because they're
depending on what the ordinance says, right?
in changing ordinance to make it be what we wanted it to be.
I understand that.
So anyway, I'm just saying, I think it's a doable thing, and I agree with the mayor that it should be the entire town. We should just make it 2-hour parking until whatever hour, And a good thing would
Can you
be
check that ordinance out, please?
for us to decide, what do we want it to be? We want it to be 8 to 4, 7 to 4, 7 to 3, what hours do we want it to be 2-hour parking? So we can make a decision, so if we wanna change the ordinance, we know what we wanna change the ordinance to.
Doesn't matter to me.
I don't know, 8 to 4? 2-hour parking, 8 to 4, 8 AM to 4 PM?
In our discussion from 2023, we suggested making it 8 to 5 and 30-minute parking.
30 minutes?
Well,
Really?
From 8 to 5.
Holy cow, no.
The 30 minutes. There'll be nobody out here. Yeah, right? I would go 8:30 or 8 to 5 with,
That's something.
How do you know
it's time to get there?
Yeah, I think we should probably take a step back and ask what thing we're trying to answer,
right,
what problem we're trying to address here. So it's that we don't want to discourage evening excessive parking,
For all businesses up there, not just one particular one, for all.
right? It does seem from my experience that during the day, it still makes sense to have some restrictions.
Sure.
Okay, but we don't think evening would fall into the same camp, even though we will have some additional evening businesses. Like with the distillery and. this
Right.
one. Just throwing it out there.
8 to 5.
Whatever,
Metered.
8 to 5, if there's some reason you pick 5 o'clock,
Because that's what she's ever done there.
yeah,
That's a lot of work for
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's.
Christmas is
considered-
closed,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
How do you know time it work?
There's a method, I don't know what it is. They have a method, chalk, I don't know.
When that goes around, and that goes around at certain times. You'd have to ask the chief how that works.
A lot of memory.
no, she writes it down,
Does she write?
all the cars.
Put some meters in, charge them, make some money.
It's also been talked about in,
I mean, that's. No brainer,
You know, we used to have.
Yeah.
up to so many hours,
Parking meters.
up to 3 hours.
Certainly something to consider in the future for the simplest. The simplest thing for right now would be change the ordinance, change the
you
signs.
just have to look at it and, go 8 to 5. 2-hour parking.
okay, so we're okay with that,
Monday through Friday.
adding to the motion to amend the ordinance and the hours from 8 to 5.
We can't do that. We can't amend the ordinance, it's not an
That's not what she
emergency.
said.
Yeah. Then the motion to include a updating ordinance.
Can't change the motion.
We're not changing. We're
You can add on though.
adding to our motion.
We can't add to our motion. Is what I'm saying, we're not allowed to do that. Act 65 doesn't allow us to change the motion, it has to be done 24 hours in advance.
The thought might be, there's a little bit more discussion kind of taking place with this particular one. I think maybe it should be referred back to the Public Safety Committee.
Okay.
Have them bring the recommendation back for
Okay.
the ordinance, after you do some additional research. It does fall under the public safety.
That sounds good, and I did forward the sign inventory from 23 to.
Thanks, yeah. All right,
All right. Is that it, Dave?
Yeah, that's it, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Finance, report, Mr. Vanchery.
All right, so let me make Mr. Vincherry, who is the borough's auditor, the host on the back TV there. Okay, Peter, I think that you're on now.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. So I just want to go over quickly the DCD audit report that we submitted to, obviously, Department of Community and Economic Development. So the part of the report includes our opinion letter with the reports, where we provide an opinion that the statements and schedules that are included in that report are fairly presented in accordance with the requirements of DCD. It also states that they're on a cash basis. So that's how you normally report your financial statements on a monthly basis. And that's how we report it in the DCD report. So just to go through a couple items in the report and touch on some things. So it shows in the report a couple different funds like the general fund, the special revenue funds, and your pension funds. But looking at your general fund, when we look at what your fund balance is at the end of 12/31/24, so your fund balance at the end of the year is $688,213. Now, when we compare that as a percentage of your budgeted expenditures, it's about 37% of your budgeted expenditures. So from that standpoint, you have built back up to a fairly healthy fund balance reserve at the end of 2024. Now, one of the things that when you look at that, you do not have any funds separated into a separate fund for capital projects. So that does include some capital project cash that you've set aside, but not a separate fund. So when you look at that, that does include the money you've put aside into that capital project fund, which is needed for future projects. The couple other funds that you do have is the Highway Aid Fund, the Sewer Fund, and then the Police Asset Seizure Fund. So at the end of the year, there's about $92,000 in your Highway Aid Fund, which is what's required to be used only for specific purposes under the Highway Aid Motor Vehicle Tax. The Police Asset Seizure Fund has $10,928 in there.
Hey,
So there
Peter,
has been a lot of activity. Yes.
sorry to interrupt your discussion, but is it possible for you to screen share the piece that you're referring to?
I don't know if I have a copy on my computer. Do you have one there, Jason, by chance? An electronic copy? I know we emailed one. Let me see if I could find that email and do that.
Just tell us what page you're on, or what column, or what row, or where you're.
Well, we're on the second page there. I'm not sure what order that report. Let me see if I could find the report and then I can share that.
The balance sheet?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's on the second page of the balance sheet there. I think we sent that on Friday. So let me see. I can't seem to locate it real quickly here. So yeah, if you have a copy, but it is on the second page that what I was talking about. So on the second page under fund and account group equity, so towards the bottom of the page here is the general fund number I was speaking of. Then the next column is the special revenue funds. So included in there are three separate special revenue funds, like I mentioned. That includes your highway aid, the sewer fund, and the police asset seizure fund. So your sewer fund at the end of the year, there's $1.1 million included in there as fund balance. Which is an accumulation of funds over the last number of years from the collections less the cost that you were incurred. Then the last column there, or not the last column, but the other fund is your trust and agency fund. So included in this is your police pension fund. So you can see the balance in there is $810,577. So that column only includes the police pension fund. It does not include the non-uniform fund, which is managed by PMRS and issues their own statements. So the next pages show your statement of revenues and expenditures. You can see the various categories of revenues and expenditures, for the different taxes, collections, and so forth. Just a couple items to point out in there that are a little different than in prior years relating to the collections for garbage. So in prior years, that garbage collection revenues and expenses was handled directly by the contractor. And then sometime in 2024, mid-2024, that started getting billed by the Oakmont Water Authority, and then you were paying the contractor directly. So those revenues and expenditures are included in your general fund and not separated out, even though they're collected by the Water Authority. They're separated out and shown as part of the general fund revenues and expenditures. Just to point out a couple numbers in there, your total sewer revenues for the year collection was $938,000. And then the biggest, as everybody's well aware, the biggest number that gets paid out of those funds are the payments to Alcosan. So the payments to Alcosan out of your total expenditures worth $693,000 approximately for the 4 quarters of charges for that. Then any other costs paid to or charged out of that fund, relate to collection fees And then there's some administration charges that are costed out to that fund also. So that those pages there show the statement of revenues and expenditures. Just the last item is a debt statement in there that which is towards the end. The only loan that you had outstanding at the beginning of 2024 was a small loan for the fire truck. That payment was made and that loan was paid off in full in 2024. So at the end of 2024, the borough has no debt outstanding. So that's a quick summary of the report. I mean, there's no footnotes or anything with these types of reports, but that sort of gives you a quick summary of the revenues and expenditures and where you stand at the end of the year for the various funds. Pretty much those numbers that you look at are the same ones that you see from your monthly financial statements that are prepared and provided to council from your bookkeeping company. So we had very little adjustments, if any, maybe just some reclassification of revenues and expenditures to different functions to comply with the DCD reporting requirements. But for the most part, the same numbers are there, especially since you're on the cash basis. Not a lot of adjustments need to be made to those amounts. So that's really the only comments I have. I don't know if there's any questions. I'll be more than glad to answer anything if anybody has anything.
You have anything for Peter?
Yes, I couldn't hear you there for a minute. It must have cut off for a second.
No, I asked if anybody had any questions for you.
Oh, okay.
Nobody? Okay. Peter,
All
thank
right.
you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Jason. Take care.
Next up, Parks and Property events.
Yeah, I just have a quick announcement, Mayor touched base on it. On Saturday, August 16th, we had our 7th installment of Battle Borough Wrestling. Hosted by Run Parks and Recreation. In collaboration with Low Valley Athletic Foundation, we had roughly 500 people attend. $610 was made concession sales, Parks and Rec, and $337 each. Low Valley Athletic Foundation. Ryan Bob's Albert sang the national anthem again, standing ovation. Unfortunately, it will be the last show for KSWA Corona since they're retired this year. Parks and Rec is currently looking for a company to replace them, and I'll keep it very close. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Vince.
Yep.
Good job on that.
Oh, and we do have Shakespeare in the Park is coming up September 6th at 7 p.m. Cribs. And the show is, what is it? The Two Gentlemen of Verona. Two Gentlemen of Verona.
Right, thank you.
That's it.
Community Relations, Mrs. Provenza.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, folks. I had a recommendation to dissolve the existing Community Relations Committee and merge that committee with Strategic Planning Committee. And the reason being, both of these committees are very, very similar, even with their goals and what can and what should be done. So this is going to be up for discussion. I don't know if anyone in the audience has any feedback or any thought on that, but we will be discussing. This was brought to my attention.
The only thing I can maybe see is you only have 3 people at a meeting, correct?
No.
We're advertised, so.
Oh, we're advertised, okay, that's right. I don't have a problem with it, I mean,
But the room is already so packed for my committee meeting, I don't know how we'll fit the extra council members, but the more the merrier.
does anybody have any comments or concerns, or do they care, or?
I think, Jason, was this something that you were thinking about? I mean, could you elaborate a little more on your thought process?
Some discussion with, each council person as part of their committee. Usually will solicit from the manager, are there any other topics that you'd like for us to discuss, or, are there any other items? And, the items that seem to come up with this particular committee also seem to align with the strategic planning committee. That would make sense to, be mindful of everyone's time that's served on these committees. And, if you're going to be talking about the same things,
It's redundant.
there is some redundancies, so, the thought was that if there's an opportunity to reduce meetings and make things more efficient for you all, to, for you to consider that. Again, always up to council's, discretion.
Well, Sylvia, as the chair of the Community Relations Committee, do you like this idea, Martin?
I don't think it's wrong to have more ideas. I think if you have more people, you're getting more feedback, more ideas from other people, not just a couple of people. But I think everybody has something valuable to bring to the table. That's my thought.
So the committee would consist of Trish, you and me from the Strategic Planning Committee, plus Vince and Tim from the Community Relations Committee.
Right.
That meets at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays, which probably not something you can attend right then.
Nope.
So that's just a logistical. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not ahead of either one, so I'm cool with it, but I think it's you guys who are being more affected to discuss.
But yeah, certainly the date and time is an important consideration. We only have a handful of meetings at the end of the year. I don't know if it's a possibility.
Zoom, I can't Zoom from work.
Okay.
It's literally like working on a machine shop when you work in a kitchen. It's just bang and bang, bang, and bang. I can't hear nothing. And I can't leave the kitchen to concentrate on the meeting. So if I can't give 100%, I just be there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give 50% my job.
Well, Vince, what's your thoughts?
No, no, one. So you will be the chair of basically all of it.
Yeah, I mean, we could discuss a co-chair arrangement, but
I mean, moving forward. There will be 5 committees moving forward. There will be 5 chairs and 1 person doesn't have to chair a committee. Just doesn't seem fair or equal.
right,
But
yeah.
you got
Well, responsibility could be shared.
Mhm. Right, I don't know that the title of chairperson is necessarily indicative of the amount of responsibility. But it is something to think about because we had previously discussed as per the SAM report, moving towards the superintendent structure. I don't know if this could be kind of a trial, a pilot, intermediary step in that. Certainly being conscientious of redundancy and everyone's time, I think it's a good idea to try for the remainder of the year. And Tim, I don't know, I really hate to see us spend money on re-advertising for a handful of meetings, but we can work together offline.
I mean, you guys, as long as I have the information and I can email you guys my recommendations and that way you guys can discuss them. Get back to me after the meeting. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna be part of the discussion. I just won't be able to do that.
Great.
Okay.
And we don't know what's gonna happen with the new year, with the committees and the structure.
Yeah, we would probably reshuffle anyway, so.
Okay, do we wanna just, do we need to, I can just change that,
I
right?
think you just have to advertise the community relations meetings to be canceled. Merged with.
We have to advertise that or just like on social media?
Good question, right?
I don't think we have to advertise a cancellation.
Right.
No,
Other
if
than
you're
saying-
combining
Well, that's the thing.
Technically,
agendas, technically.
and you know, I don't think we need to put
No, at the very least, you have to advertise the chance.
I mean, it should be put out there for the public.
Sure.
We'll put it on Facebook or
Yes.
website. You still want to check with Craig to make sure? Thank you.
I was gonna say, we don't have to make a solid decision tonight.
We'll hear back from Jason and Craig and go from there. If everybody's okay with it, as long as they say it's okay, then what, I get it. Is that it, Ms. Preventa?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Next up, finance, Tim?
We have the report on the audit, we will be having third quarter meeting. October.
Okay.
It'll be the third Monday, October.
Is that it?
Other than that, I did look up, and according to that 61, we are allowed to amend any motion. As long as we allow discussion.
Okay,
Do what we amend.
so we can amend that to,
We could amend the ordinance.
but we're gonna put it to committee anyway, so,
I'm just letting you know, it was, it's not an act 65.
okay, thank you. Next up, public safety, Nancy?
Thank you. First, I just want to mention about the slow down campaign signs that we've discussed several meetings now. And I believe last time I mentioned working with Jason Alberti. And I put out in an email about getting 4 sets of 2 signs each for a total of 8 signs. Jason, the price is $27 for a 2-sided multicolored sign, which is an excellent price. So for $216, we could kind of do a trial period of, pick 4 corners to put two signs each that say something different on each side, so people see different sayings. I had originally had him make a design with purple and gold. Isn't that Riverview's colors? Purple and gold?
Black and gold.
Black and gold, oh, okay. Sorry. But I realized when I was looking at the signs in the other town, that they're using red, yellow, and green because that's what the stoplight colors are. So, maybe we should just use that to be consistent with the other slow down campaigns. Jason, have you seen any other slow down campaign signs? Are they all red, yellow, and green?
I see a lot of them that are just black and red.
Okay. So the colors, we could make it black and gold. I guess, that's what I was thinking, I just put the wrong color, sorry, guys. I was gonna, after tonight, I think it's on a motion to pass this for a meager initial cost of $216 to try it out, and we'll get 8 signs and see what people think. If everybody is okay with that, and trust me and Jason Alberti to figure out exactly what they look like. Okay, so that was that. Now, I'd say a little something about the Ridge Avenue one-way thing. First of all, this was something that seems, in my experience, to have developed over time. It came up several times in the public safety meeting. And it came up once or twice, maybe with Matt, I don't remember exactly how it coalesced. But I do think that Matt, because of the various discussions that we had, decided to look into it further. And we have information on it that maybe Jason can talk to, but I just want to let everybody know, I am not wed to any of these things. I am simply being a conduit of information to share with people, to get feedback. Sort of like throw the spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks and what's the best thing for the area, for the community, for the safety of people. So it's not me, it's not any one person. And so I don't want people to think that. But the engineer did have some opinions about it. The idea in one of our discussions was to make it one way going up. To slow down the people speeding down the hill. But we don't have to do it, and we were not gonna vote on that tonight, we're gonna discuss it. And initially, there was gonna be possibly a 30-day trial to see what people thought about it. But we don't have to do that either, we don't have to do any of it. So, I just want people to be assured that this was just one of many things. We talked about speed humps, speed bumps, speed cushions. This, that, and stop signs with flashing lights, we're just trying to do whatever we can think.
I have a question
Yeah,
on the committee here with you on that, and then, so I have a question with regards to the speed humps. Perhaps maybe Jason can help us out with that, and I've seen on TV, other townships, other towns have used speed humps for traffic control. And I don't understand, I still don't understand why we can't do it. I mean, and I know, I mean, they use the rubber ones, like and they're cheaper from what I understand than the ones that are, the permanent, the permanent ones. The rubber ones you can actually screw down into the sub base. And you could take them out. And I know there was a concern about, snow plowing. Them hitting damaging the plow and everything, but they're removable. So I don't know why we can't use something. I mean, can somebody enlighten me?
that's another option. But right now, I just want to address the one way on Ridge Avenue.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'm offering that as an alternative rather than having a,
Can you wait till-
one-way street.
Can you wait till public comment?
We don't have to have many of you, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, you do the route that you're going. We're gonna be paying more because
I don't wanna
put
do,
holes, I'm just gonna, wait, he said,
As
if
opposed
there's
to
a holes
one-way
in the
street.
road, it's gonna take down the time that road is gonna be paved. So we have 5 years in between paving, and it's gonna be 2. Because the snow and the ice is gonna get in, it's just gonna blow that
but we're
asphalt.
getting off topic, guys.
I'm just saying,
These are good points of discussion in the next committee meeting for ways to deal with, slowing down, not just at Ridge and Selden, but all over town. There's many places I've heard. So there are speed humps all over the city of Pittsburgh, I know that. And Mary, you plow snow, how do you deal with speed bumps and humps?
Well, the rubber ones, yeah, they would be a problem, I'm sure. But the humps itself are made out of asphalt, the city doesn't, they just go right over them.
Because they're not going that fast.
Exactly, O'Hara over by the school has them.
Well, the argument was with those, though, they say they damage the snowplow, so whenever you're doing plowing.
They're not going that fast. Though.
Exactly.
I mean. I don't.
Well, anyway, in terms of this Ridge Avenue thing, Jason, could you share a little bit about what the engineer said, what his recommendations were?
So, I mean, he was asked to look at it from the standpoint of, both safety and design of the roadway. And he had just provided exactly what you had discussed already, which was, his recommendation was to, if there was going to be any change to it, that the recommendation would be for a 30-day trial to go up Ridge from Selden to First, and that again, it would be evaluated. There was a much larger census group that he had asked for there to be letters sent to gauge impact and what their thoughts would be on that even prior to the trial being implemented. Something like this requires additional signage to be installed and for in both directions. And go up and come down. So he had just outlined where the signage would go and what some estimated costs would be for that. So but this really is a policy decision. This is up to, you know, ultimately up to council, you know, to pursue this or not to pursue this, but, you know, the thought there was to, you know, just like the individual spoke earlier, that, you know, taking a survey, a poll, get feedback, you know, have people consider what impact this would have on their travel in their neighborhood. You know, the challenge with it, you know, something like this is that, you know, the folks that you're trying to curb the speeding in this particular area are the same people that live in these neighborhoods, right? And you need to, you know, everyone needs to own that, right? So you're not going up or down ridge if you don't necessarily live up on top of there, right? So and so that's one of the challenges is how do you curb that behavior if that's what is being proposed back to you all to address. So I think that, you know, this could use some additional evaluation or a plan to gauge what the folks up there want to do. You know, that survey in and of itself can serve as somewhat of a deterrent, right? That would.
Right,
You know,
40 names on it.
40 names on a
Yeah,
petition.
if you don't want this, slow down, right? So.
So there's no action being planned on this at all tonight. It was just for discussion. And there can be more discussion at the committee meeting, and then we just end up dropping it, if that's a possibility.
You know, one other thing, if I may, give an opinion, in the winter time, what do we have, maybe like 5, 6 houses on Ridge Avenue at the lower part? You know, going uphill in the winter time, you know, the priorities is to open up the main roads, you know, overnight, you know, they come out at 4 or 5 o'clock, you know, get the main roads, and that's not a main road. So these people gotta go to work, and they may get stuck going up the hill, depending on the weather we have. You know, we've been lucky the last several years. So that's another thing to consider. And, you know, like the manager said, you know, you got 43 names, you know, what more, you know, it'd be a waste to send any type of letter out, you know.
Right.
You know, at an expense when you got a petition of 40, you know, 3 names on there.
Right, so.
Just a, you know, an opinion to think about.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, you know. Don't worry. The rest of the things on my agenda, one I put down here about the light webinar that's happening on September 17th. They cost $45. I usually like to go the ones that are free, not to cost or anything, but I'm not going to be here on September 17th in the town, in the country, anything. So I can't go to it. But what I know is that someone, anybody, even if it's just you, Jason, can register for this, spend the 45, and eventually we'll get a video and we can look at the video. It said, the title was something like New Ways to Deal with Blight. Now, who knows if that's really what it is, but I think it would be worth $45 for one registration so that someone can hear it and we can get the video, so. I just wanted to mention that. I don't know much about this next thing, I just put it there as a placeholder to get an update from Jason about Be Safe inspections and where they're at, update, anything new and exciting.
Sure, so Jamie's been in the office 2 or 3 times a week, since they were appointed. And, you know, he's been pretty aggressively going out after, you know, not after, but following up on the inspections. He's probably had 10 or 15 inspections in the last 2 weeks. And he's issued letters, notice letters for various code violations. The one big one today was that, you know, 749 Allegheny River Boulevard was posted today to get that process started on that essentially abandoned business structure that's there. So that'll hopefully start to get some momentum in be engaging the building code official next to look at it structurally. But just as far as code violations goes, this starts the process for that. And, you know, I think that he's doing a pretty good job right now.
So 749, they got the warrant from District Justice DeLuca.
Yes, well, so it was posted today that it's a dangerous structure. And that's the first step.
Very good, thank you.
And then we have we officially hired CEA now?
We have, the contract needs to be signed off on. I met with Craig McVicker, the owner, on Friday, to start going over some different, issues that we face here, in the borough and how we'll be using them. Their rates are very, very similar to what the BIU rates were for, building inspections and electrical inspections and all of those. So, very similar process.
And just for clarification for everyone, the reason we are switching is,
So CEA has a good track record of dealing with, structural issues relative to blight, working hand in hand with code enforcement, and also working with, specifically in this valley, they have a really good track record with their building code work that they've done.
Jason, but you and I have talked about the more tires, and I've been working with residents down there on that generator. And the BUI was holding them up. You said that was taken care of?
It was, yeah, you had indicated there was a snag in the permit, and we followed up with them and were able to get that resolved, but it was sitting for, a few weeks before they issued that. And we spurred that along a little bit with a phone call, but.
Okay, thank you for doing that. And save his number, because he's in charge of that lieutenant that I gave you his number.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, he's in charge of the, property down there through the county.
Oh, great. Good. Thank you.
If you don't have it, I'll give it to you again.
Any update on the steep?
Just that it's been reported, so they'll get a very similar notice from the code enforcement officer about it being a dangerous structure.
It has gotten much worse than last week and a half.
Lightning hit it that night.
The flashing is about to fall off now, and all the wood underneath it's rotten and it's leaning bigger angle than it was.
yeah, we had some wind.
Tell them for those.
All the wood's exposed now, it's almost all flashing.
Okay. Next is, there is a vacancy on the Lower Valley Ambulance Service, board. For a representative, to be on that board, representative from Verona to be on the ambulance board. So we're accepting letters of interest for that, board member vacancy due no later than October 20th.
How often do they meet?
I don't know, once a month maybe? I don't know.
He just.
Believe so.
Does anybody have any idea when they meet?
No.
I do not know, but we can find out. So maybe we can put that up on the website, Facebook page, text message. Whenever it is, might go something, yeah, okay, great. In terms of the next public safety committee meeting, like I said, I'm not gonna be here. It'll be at 5:30 midnight where I am. And, but Jason had suggested the idea in order to just have some discussion on two main items, one being Ridge Avenue and the other one, which we might not need. And the other one being a changing of how we're gonna do the rental inspections and getting input from people and discuss that. So if you're still up for that, Jason, feel free. I bequeath my committee to you for September and and I'll be back for a meeting in October, whatever is the third Tuesday in October 21st. Will be a regular public safety meeting. So, and then gonna deal with another issue about the parking also. Well, I don't know, if you want to talk about that in September, we can talk about whatever you want. In September, yeah. Okay, that's it for me, thanks.
Anybody have anything for Nancy? Thanks, Nancy. Next up will be strategic planning. Trish, Benzac.
Thank you, Mr. President. First on my agenda for tonight is grants update. We had our last strategic planning committee meeting in this room Wednesday, August 20th at 4 p.m. We were joined with Katie Craig from Friends of the Riverfront, a longstanding collaborator with several projects we have in the area. So we worked on our draft of our TASA, the Transportation Alternative Set Aside Grant. We are asking for the largest grant that I know of in Florida's history, $2.8 million for improvements, infrastructure improvements along Allegheny River Boulevard from Wildwood to Columbus Street, such as ADA accessible sidewalks, crosswalks, biking features, pedestrian features, traffic calming features, to be determined after a design phase. So we have a punch list of items related to that. I just forwarded everyone a draft of our narrative. If you have comments, please let me know by the end of this week. We have several letters that we are requesting. We also need to get some engineering costs from Matt. Is it okay if Katie Craig reaches out directly to Matt for that? Sure. Okay, thank you. So if you have any other questions or comments on that, let me know. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to work on Main Street Matters. So probably tabling that for this round. Also, my next meeting will be on Wednesday, September 17th. As discussed previously, we'll be joined by the Community Relations Committee as a new joint committee. So I hope some of you, particularly with interest in not only planning, but perhaps communication with the public, may be able to join us. The second item I have for tonight is more information related to that. Can you allow Jason from your laptop? Thank you. I just wanted to share some ideas that Jason had shared with me, and by extension, I had shared at my last strategic planning committee meeting. The first of which, I guess, really the main item is that the strategic planning committee meeting, along the lines of what Annie had suggested earlier in her public comment, and I think Sandy and various comments as well, is this committee could perhaps drive an annual planning session for all of council combined with leadership on the different staffing areas annually to get everyone on the same page in terms of basics, as well as collaboration with each department. So for example, AJ could discuss initiatives that he has in mind for the coming year, along with our police chief and our borough manager. We could then look at our council committee structure and look at focusing them for the year and realigning them as needed. And also probably with reviewing of our stamp report, looking at short-term goals for the next 12 to 18 months, as well as longer-term goals, such as the 3 to 5 year plan. One that keeps coming up in my committee meeting is the comprehensive plan, which recently I was educated on. Thank you, Jason. That is something that we will actually put for the later phase for the SCMP program. So if anyone else is wondering about that, it has not been forgotten, but you can't apply for the next phase until you incorporate everything in your first phase. That's why you go for all the low-hanging fruit first, such as infrastructure updates and things that you can purchase, implement, and move on to the next phase to make the most of what we can get out of that opportunity. So I welcome comments on that, but I think that is something that we will shoot for at some point in the coming months. The other one, which is also in your packet, is just a sample outline for what that day could be like. Probably most of a weekend morning. But I hope everyone would be interested in that as well. So yeah, if anyone has comments on that or questions, let me know. Otherwise, as I already mentioned, my next committee will be on the 17th. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Next up would be personnel, John Demeltz.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last week we had a personnel committee meeting. One of the topics discussed was our pension status. Of course, right now, without going into it too much, we are a little short right now, and so we had a discussion with fellow committee members on that, and several members of the audience. We also went over a number of our undergoing, HR related projects, including, one of them actually, had to do with, HR complaints. Internal complaints, investigations and how that's handled. So, of course, when we are dealing with, for example, police officers, that would be covered under their, collective bargaining agreement. Same thing with DPW. However, anyone that's not under a contract, that would be, our standard rules would apply as far as how we're handling investigations and, and there's a hierarchy as far as who gets investigated by whom and so forth. Another topic that came up, that we had we had a lengthy discussion actually, was the citizen complaint form that's still under development. We are going to be instituting some changes on that form because, number one, the topic of anonymous complaints came up on it. And the reason being is that, we need to know, if there's a complaint against someone here, in order for us to act on it and report back, we have to have someone to report back to. So can't just have someone lodge an anonymous complaint. It could be anyone. It could be someone from outside the borough. We don't know who it is, and we don't want to have something like that. We prefer to have the person state their name, address, phone number, so that we can come back and report back with our findings, or whatever resolution we came up with. The other item that was on that form that we have to change is that the Verona Police Department is exempt from the policy because the Verona Police Department has its own policy in place with regards to complaints, how it handles complaints under their CBA. So we have to strike that from the form. And as far as appeals are concerned, as far as like how if a decision was reached that was unsatisfactory to a resident and then it wanted more action made on that form, the initial form, it says that there's a committee, a small committee of council people that would make the final determination. We would like to change that, and that would be the entire council would have to make the final determination on something like that. Which I thought, I think everyone should be involved and when a decision has to be made. It's, could be a personnel issue. Something, that requires everyone's attention.
Johnny, is a good time to make a comment.
Sure.
On your first point, I'm not sure which way you're leaning, but if we do want to offer us to make a comment anonymously, we could have a box that does not populate, or do you want a response if you are leaving your name? So you can still leave a comment, but we're not giving it the full, courtesy of a response because they are not providing all their information. But we can still note it, certainly if we get a certain number of them, and maybe something that the whole community.
Yeah,
Because what's stopping somebody from just going and getting 20 other friends from another county coming, like, if you want to complain about something, just put your name. Don't do it.
One person fills out 50 complaints, just
It's probably
changes
only-
the handwriting.
well, we want to have actionable results that we can also go back to that person and say, hey, this is what we did for you. And, we here's what we're doing, and we're going to, you know, and with this, is this satisfactory? Is this good that we did this, or if we didn't, what else can we do?
And this was recommended by our chief, who in most cases would probably be the chief investigator of any complaint made.
Well, I certainly value the chief's input, but I wasn't saying it that way, because this could be about our website, right? This is the same more, not just people, but, we don't guard it in the front of the building, we don't have it on the door, I'm seeing a whole myriad of things.
Yeah, I
Well,
think that
those
was,
aren't complaints.
yeah, that would be,
These are, we're talking about specific complaints against people.
Okay, so this doesn't handle,
yeah,
No, those are not like talk sheets.
yeah,
Okay, I guess that was my,
Yeah, we're still gonna have the anonymous tip sheets for reported code
so this is
violations.
an issue with you.
Or a policeman or administrator or
Not
something.
police.
Oh, right, not police.
this is more of a personnel issue.
Like a non-criminal complaint or another.
But again, it's still a work in progress, we're still working on it, and hopefully we can get it implemented. The other, Chief, can you fill us in on, we have testing coming up on a couple officers, what, on the 8th?
Do full timers testing on the 18th of September. And we have 2 part timers starting September 2nd.
Excellent.
Yay.
So for September's schedule, we are actually starting to have, an overlap where we have 2 officers on the shift. So some days, I anticipate by the end of October, we could have a majority of day covered by 2 officers, if everything goes to plan.
Yeah.
Including
The
2 more full-time.
department is being built up to strength, and hopefully we can keep it that way and maintain.
We've come a long way, baby.
Yeah, overtime will be cut. I told you earlier today, it's significantly starting in September, very minimal. And then typically I fill in anything that comes in just to reduce it.
Excellent. Well,
Thanks, Tom.
That's all I have. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Okay. Ordinary items. I need a motion to accept the minutes from May 13th, 2025 and May 27th, 2025.
I'll make it a motion.
Second.
First by Mr. Long, second by Mr. Profenza. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted, I had asked,
It was changed.
it was, because all I see is an asterisk, I don't see anything else. All right. Anyway. When there's not a unanimous, so usually you say who voted what way, and on the one for May 13th, there was an asterisk, and I think it was meant to be written somewhere. But I'm not sure it made it on there. But other than that, I'm sure.
Any other questions? In favor? Opposed? Pass. Next up's action items.
Oh, there it is. It is there. Sorry.
The first up is the junior council resolution. The council was presented with the junior council program at the last meeting and is presented with the resolution to formally adopt the program. I will entertain a motion to adopt the resolution 6 of 2025. Does any member have any questions?
I do have questions. Are we deciding now who will be kind of a mentor? Is there one mentor?
We are not deciding that right now.
Okay, and then question 2, when are we aiming to have a person start?
That hasn't been discussed. We're just doing the resolution.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Motion's gonna state, I move to approve the junior council program and approve resolution 6 of 2025, made by Mr. Long,
Second, by
Second.
Mrs. Prevent.
second by Mr. Provenza. Are there any other questions? All in favor? Opposed? That passed. Next one is a 2024 audit. Council was presented with the 2024 audit by the Borough appointed auditor, Peter Vancherry. At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept the audit as presented.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
First by Mr. Jamela, second by Mr. Long. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Next is a slowdown campaign. Public Safety Committee has researched regional slowdown campaign signs that have been proven to be successful at the start and the end of school years. They have recommended the borough enact on a slowdown campaign and purchase signage to deploy at predetermined locations. At this time, I will entertain a motion from the program.
Move to approve the recommended slowdown campaign initiative, including the purchase of signage to support the program.
I'll second.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter, second by Mr. Jamela. Is there any question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Next is an uncashed check resolution. The borough routinely has checks that are issued and not cashed by the recipient for various reasons. After making attempts to track down individuals to reissue checks, the borough is obligated to turn over these funds to the VA Department of Treasury's Bureau of Unclaimed Property. The interim manager has prepared resolution number 7 of 2025, reflecting the funds to be turned over. I will entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Long, second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions?
Yeah, how much is it for?
$288.76.
288. Oh, is it from? From 3923. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Next one is a parking ticket deposits. The police department has funds associated with parking tickets that have been collected but not correlated to specific tickets. These funds are to be deposited and attributed directly to the parking ticket collections. A resolution has been prepared to reflect the specifics of this deposit. The motion is going to be, I move to approve resolution number 8 of 2025, directing the funds be deposited and attributed to the parking ticket account.
With that motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter, second by Mr. Jim Ellis. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed. The next is a borough GPS policy. Council approved the installation of GPS in all borough vehicles. The Public Safety Committee was presented with the policy governing the use and administration of the GPS data, and staff has been presented with the same without objection. I need a motion. The motion is going to read, I move to adopt a GPS policy governing the use and administration of GPS data collection for all borough vehicles.
That motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter, second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. The next is a ARB parking restriction lift. This is one I think.
One motion.
We have to table this until we see the resolution.
Okay.
Resolution, yeah.
No motion to table.
We want a motion to take Mr. Law's motion to table this restriction,
I'll second.
second by Dr. Carpenter. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Next up is announcements and information newsletter.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Preventer?
President. Thank you, sir. We're currently working on the winter edition of our newsletter, and that's going to cover December, January, and February. And ads and articles are going to be due Saturday, November 1st. For articles, Donald Wood to be contacted at 412-828-3607 or at veronanewsroom@gmail.com. And for ads, I can be reached at 412-828-7726. Chamber of Commerce, next meeting is going to be held on Tuesday, September the 16th. And place of the meeting to be determined. And since Chief Tom is here, also our president of chamber. Is there anything you'd like to add to Chamber of Commerce, Chief?
Yes, I will be brief. We are getting new Christmas lights for the boulevard. Mary's ordering them or has ordered them already. So from the length of the Doughboy down to James Street, we'll have brand new lights, decorations for each pole. Also, we're doing stuff different for Halloween and Christmas. We're having a Christmas meeting tomorrow at 6 o'clock in here. We'll finalize it. We're gonna do something different than light up night. We're just gonna break away from that tradition of doing something on light up night. We'll still do something small, but we're gonna have a bigger event December 6th, which we're working on now. Other than that, that's it.
Wonderful news. Thank you so much. I know that's gonna really make our town shine. Thank you again.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Human Borough Ministries, the community dinner is going to be tomorrow evening at the Verona Methodist Church from 4:30 to 6:30. And our Verona Borough Council will be hosting this dinner. Historical Society, the meeting is going to be held on Thursday, September 18th, here in our borough building. And Dick Williams, member of the Oakmont Historical Society, will be the guest speaker here. And the title of his speaking engagement is The Greatest Generation. This is a wonderful meeting. I always say this, I'm going to repeat it again. Do try to come. You just learn so many things that you didn't know about. So do come. Those are great meetings. And I thank Rhoda for always taking a time to put them together. Thank you, Rhoda. ALOM is holding their joint fall conference of boroughs, townships, and authorities. And it's going to be from October 17th through the 19th at the Erie Bayfront. And if anyone is interested in going, registration is going to close on Thursday, October 2nd.
Hey, do we make any reservations yet?
I have not heard.
We're just waiting on any additional SVPs.
Yeah, we have had people go to, so we may get a few representatives from Verona going again. Are there any questions or comments?
Gotta get our hotel room.
Pardon? If not, this concludes my report, and I thank you all very much.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Yes, sir, you're welcome.
There's an announcement here, first aid class at RCAC on September or October 18th.
And then ARB preservation.
That's been in there. We did. ARB Preservation Association plan is available on the borough website under planning documents. At this time, we have comments from the public. Please approach the podium or raise your virtual hand. Try to limit it to 3 minutes, please.
Susie Davis, 537 Bridge Avenue. I spoke to about putting speed bumps on Sullivan Avenue. I spoke to a borough worker today. He says having the speed bumps will not affect them plowing. So consider that, you know, I got it from a borough worker. He's saying they just will go a little bit slower over them so the permanent ones would be the best solution. Putting in the rubber ones and like you said, drilling it in and making holes on the road will only cause more problems. So I think the solution is permanent speed bumps.
So you're talking about Lower Ridge
Yes,
specifically under Robin?
and no on Selvin. No, both ends of Selvin coming.
Got it.
Because Lower Bridge, there's some that's slide through there, I'm sure. But when you walk down there, as you know, I'm a walker. You can go down there, you can see 10 cars just flow either one way or both ways at the same time. So putting in the speed bumps, whatever you want to call them, they should be permanent, not the rubber one. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Ellie Rodriguez, North Avenue. I just wanted to talk about, so since Officer Dessel, Chief started, and this was before he started, we started the fire victims event. And I really just think all these people here should be thanked because their support is why we're making things change. Half of you don't come to these events. Let's just call it how it is. So I just wanted to thank you for especially helping the kids next door to me. That house is shut down. So far, all the kids were taken away. And nobody listened to me for all these years. And he helped me. And I just wanted you guys to know, shame on everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I know there's no talking, but you guys should be, you should say thank you. Before kids suffer.
Thanks, Gillen. Anybody else? I see no virtual hands. I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Long, second by Mr. Cadenza. Any questions? Favor? Opposed? Thanks for attending the meeting. Be safe.